We must come to the realization that there is a war going on just across our borders. The lives and livelihoods of millions of people are now in danger. Bakonybél is counting on its residents and those who would stand with us to help by showing patience, openness, and some sacrifice. One does not have to experience, but only to understand the hope of those who seek shelter and a kind word. This is the least we can do, and if we can do more, then we should extend a helping hand. And we have here the first round of donations, already boxed and labeled for what goes and what ages for the children. As we discussed with the girls, we're going to keep these here so that we can put them to good use. And if we have a chance to help, and we have a chance to offer a better environment to those who have endured such a situation, then it's our duty as humans to provide this help. It doesn't matter what nationality you are, we're all humans. We're talking about people, regardless of nationality. Exactly. So yeah, this is a mission for you. Exactly. And here, every mattress has a clean blanket and sheets, which we usually always had here for the pilgrims. So we even agreed to give it the name that it's the cooperation of Bakonybél for the case of the refugees. So it's not just the village and it's not just the church, but we're all in this. And Kotonolatsi is going to represent the side of the population and also ensure housing for the refugees. So how prepared are you for this? Or is this just a last-minute decision? Well, it was kind of last minute. It's an emergency, but we were lucky that our community house was just renovated, which its attic is actually used now for accommodations for pilgrims, and we have mattresses, and it's hygienical, it's clean, we have toilets, we have showers, and we can take roughly about 10 to 15 refugees for a transitional period of time until they have something more permanent. So one of the main problems is always, how do we ensure that that's donated actually gets to where it's supposed to go? And this way we can demonstrate that through the generosity of the village and through the monastery, that this is going to go to the benefit of the refugees, and then we can also ensure that donors in the future can also donate with confidence. So this would be done in tiers and steps in order to get the village buildings ready. So yes, that's true. As we previously mentioned, that the monastery's pilgrim accommodations would be the first step. And then what we can do afterwards, we can begin to use the unused parts of the school, which do require some renovations from what we've noticed, but we can do this in about 3-4 weeks, and the accommodations would be very family friendly and livable. And should this war last longer, we also have or should the need arise, we have the old administrative building, which has already gone through extensive renovations, and now we're just putting on the finishing touches. So finishing the heating and the plumbing, which is going to be a little bit expensive, and we're going to have to figure out some external funding for that. But we were all in agreement that if it's needed, it can be used. Probably within about 2.5 months we can have it ready to go to take in families. And it's important to know that we're not just talking about the accommodations here. We're talking about feeding, we're talking about the variables that we didn't even really talk about, smaller things. So we can talk about medication, if somebody needs an iron board, if somebody needs to do the laundry. And if it drags on for longer, we know that we can also provide schooling and early childhood care.
Azt is így próbáltuk áttekinteni, hogy gyerekeket óvodába, iskolába beintegrálni.
Tény, és azt el kell fogadni, hogy 2 héten. You know, it's a fact, and we have to accept this fact, that 2 weeks ago, these people were living a normal life just like you and I, and they were suddenly thrust out of it. And we want to make sure that we provide an environment for them that's humanitarian and worthy, that it's not going to be just a camp, that it's going to be their second home. So for those who love Bakonybél and those who felt like they've received something from our community, that we now ask them to also help so that we can fulfill our mission. So excuse me for interrupting. So there's a bank account number here, which should show on the screen, which will go directly to the refugees and to help you create the accommodations necessary in order to take in more people as soon as possible. Yes, that's correct. And this isn't just going to be financial.
Ez a felhívás nem feltétlenül csak anyagi jellegű. Ahogy említettük, igen, lépcsőfokokba gondolkodunk.
As we mentioned before, we're thinking about doing this in tiers. So what we can offer immediately already through the monastery is to accommodate anywhere between 10 and 15 people immediately, just in the attic space for the pilgrims, followed by the school wing building, which roughly in about a month's time, 3-4 weeks time, we can get it ready and make it more than livable, again for roughly about 15 people. And depending on the need and the pace of our renovations for the administrative building, the last building, we can take anywhere between 15 and 20 people. This is just what we offer as the monastery and the village, between 30 and 50 people. However, we also want to be a go-between to also help to provide the accommodations within the area, whether they be individuals or other villages as well.
Szinte bármeddig, mert akkor egy közvetítő szerepbe is gondolkodunk.